Well, it's Crazy Hat Day at school. On my way to drop the kids off at school, and I have a lot. Ollie's wearing a chicken hat. Yeah, we have a lot of work today at the barn. A lot of horses to train, some horses to school. Just a lot going on today. Today's a busy day at the barn. Not a whole lot going on yesterday. We watched George in the Jungle race. He finished second. You might say to yourself, he didn't race that bad, but he was nowhere near super comfy. We had Dr. Latessa came and scoped him after, full of mucus, a little bit of blood. We're working on that to clean that up. And he also went all over him. It just seemed to me like he was stiff behind. We're going to draw blood today and look at his AST level, his muscle count. Aside from his muscle count, his hind feet seemed kind of sore. Not bone-wise, just his feet, which is extremely rare. You don't really say, yeah, he's got sore feet behind. You might say, well, he's got 4 feet. It's only logical that the hind ones could bother them. Not very often at all. So I have to ask myself, why are his hind feet kind of sore? They were hot. It didn't appear. Now I have to check the records when we get to the barn. This all happened late last night. When I get to the barn, I'll check the records and see when he was shod. If he was shod recently, what can happen is take a lot of the foot off. What you're left putting is the nails in the feet, but they're close to what the white line would be. Now the white line would be equivalent. Ever cut your nails too short? That would be the equivalent of your white line in your foot. Now if you had long nails that were hard, like horses, you could nail through them, no problem. But when you get close to that white line, it's pretty painful. It just seemed to me like George was uncomfortable last night going to the gate. It seemed fine after the race. When I was leaving, one of the other trainers had asked me to fix some trotting hobbles for them, so I was there for about 2 hours after the race. And as I was leaving, I walked over, and George had eaten that can of feed that he had got for supper after the race, and I gave him another hot bran mash, and he dove right into that. So his spirits are up. He's comfortable. I don't think it will impact him in any negative way. I don't think it'll impact him in any negative way, but it is something we have to work on over the next 6-7 days as we get him back in to go in that series. So all things considered, a pretty good mile, heck of a mile from George last night. Behaved himself, never looked to run, and did his work as good as he could. So that was George. I had a number of people message me asking why Patrick LaPrana was into qualified today. You guys saw my video yesterday. It was an honest mistake. What had happened was Patrick was entered into race. Now, the rule is, and I'm a proponent of, we're all professional trainers. I just think you should be able to put your horse, once he's qualified, this is how they do it in Europe. Once you're qualified, you're qualified. You can enter your horse whenever you want. 6 months from now, 3 months from now, a month from now. The reality is, or the argument is that it's the onus is on the trainer to bring the horse ready to race. And people say, well, I want to see that qualifying line, but truthfully speaking, if you're a gambler out there, you know that nobody goes and qualifies their horse hard. That qualifying line really means nothing, because more times than not, they're just going around, going an easy mile, and it's not something you can really bank on. You can't say, well, I think this horse is ready to go because that qualifier looked extremely well. More times than not, it's just a flat mile going around with the horses. And, when it comes to our barn, you can have our horses off a month, 2 months. They are going to be ready when they go to the track because we have them trained up very hard. And I think that the way that trends, where some trainers have their horses right on their toes and ready to rock, and other trainers that might take a start or two, that's a gambling angle that everybody has anyway. Whether there's a qualifier or not, if you know that there's a trainer that generally has their horses ready to go, then it doesn't matter what that qualifying line looks like. You're looking at the entire body of work. Anyway, that's another discussion for another day. So the rule is 45 glee. You're allowed to enter your horse on the 45th day. So I wasn't really paying attention. Tim had gone to the race office, talked to the race secretary supposedly. Race secretary said 45 days today. They enter the horse comes out on the sheet, and as Tim was driving me to pick up my car, judge's call. Tim, I had some bad news. It's not 45 days, 46 days. Horse is ineligible to race on Friday and will have to be scratched. Now, my first inclination is, I don't care, he's got the 7 hole anyway. He can race next week. But then the problem presents itself. He's got to qualify. Qualifiers were on Tuesday. One sec, honey. Qualifiers were on Tuesday, but they're on Wednesday in Northfield. So Patrick DePirana got a ride back to Northfield yesterday, and we're going to qualify him this afternoon at Northfield Park. I had a great conversation with Dominic yesterday. Dominic called me and said, yes, honey. Oh, so remember I was driving Tim's car? I drove to the Meadows yesterday, and after the qualifiers, Tim drove me over to get my car. My car actually got hurt not far from the Meadows, maybe half an hour, 40 minutes. So Tim drove me up to get it. You know where we stop to get pizza sometimes on the way home from the Meadows? Yeah, right there, that exit, Wexford. So, Dominic called me and said he was going to train all gas, no brakes hard this morning and put him in to go Wednesday. I said, Dom, you might want to rethink that strategy. He said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, he hasn't trained in a month because his foot was bothering him. You're getting his foot cleaned up. He said, yeah. We're going to train him one time and then put him in the optional 50 claimer. My 2 cents, you do what you want, but my 2 cents would be train him today in 220, 225, and then school him Friday in 2 minutes, 58, 59, and then go back with a mile again, maybe a mile in 210 on Thursday as you prep him for his next Monday race. I wouldn't race him Monday because I don't see anything good coming from that. If you're putting him in, if you fit a cheap class and you fit the bottom class, all right, you can bring him in half ready. You can bring him in kind of ready. But this ties into what I just told you about qualifying also. I don't really want to bring our horses to the track if they're not zinging tight, if they're not ready to go to the winner's circle. It's just another wasted start. Bring them to the track ready to rock. So Dominic was going to train him today in 220, I believe. School him Friday. James will school him Friday, so he'll school 2 seconds slower than what we'd want to go. And then bring him next, or take him out next Wednesday or Thursday. Train him 2 trips, last mile in 2:08, 2:10, just a mile tightener again, and then he's in racing shape. He's ready to go. And for that matter, you could go back Thursday and train him in 2:2, 2:3 again, which would be 3 days out. It might be a little close, but you see where I'm going with this. Have him tight. Don't bring him half ready. So that's where we're at with gas. I was happy with Captain today. I'm going to talk to Tim later on in the morning. How did Captain Incredible jog? Seemed good to me, but as I'd said to him, and I want to make this abundantly clear, because it seemed like the last time I said it that some of our clients maybe didn't quite understand what I meant. If he qualifies good, we'll put him into race. If he races good, we'll start making plans for the Governor's Cup. And any time along the way, if we think he's uncomfortable, not 100%, or just at the end of his year, regardless of the starts, we're just going to turn him out. And there's a very real possibility that that's exactly what could happen. The most important thing is he understands the game. He's not worried at the gate. He's not worried following a horse. He is competitive. He does show speed. So all the things you want to teach him to have been taught. You just have to get him to a place where he is confident, comfortable, and wanting to come forward. Not because he's asked, but because he wants to. So that's where I was going with the whole Captain Incredible thing. And I know there's a lot of people out there, and maybe not a lot, but I've heard it from some clients in a multitude of ways, saying, well, you know, he was ready to go in the spring. We had him ready in June. He had those 2 good qualifiers. But again, when you qualify the horses, it doesn't matter. You qualify in June, end of June, July, you still need that progression, right? There has to be that progression. And we had to stop with him because his knees were bothering him. One ankle bothers him a little bit. He has stuff that bothers him. We just have to work on it. That's our job. So, that's it for today. Training today. I think we're probably going to school some horses, show the gate to Pelican Al today, show the gate to I'm Ready To today, qualify Patrick DePirana today.
What does Pelican Al like mean?
What's that?
What does Pelican Al mean?
I think it's like a nickname of a friend of the guy who bred the horse.
We just call him Al.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to train Grand Old Chap again today and see how he is. What else do we got going on? A ton of horses to go slow miles today. And then, of course, all the babies. It's 63 degrees already here, which is what, 63, 30. It's about 15 degrees already at 8 o'clock in the morning. 7:55, 56 in the morning. I'm going to be there 2 minutes early. 7:56 in the morning. It should make for a real nice day here in Ohio, more particularly Northfield Park. As far as racing tonight, I think we have 2 in, don't we? Love and Affection is in tonight, and La Dorian is in tonight also. So, I hope you guys have a great start to your day also. Ours did start well, dropping the kids off now and then off to Northfield. I will talk to you later on this afternoon. Take care.